Hey guys, it's Abigail here, and I've got another interview today. Today I'm talking with Nathan Cochran of MercyMe. How are you, Nathan?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. So tell us what you play and how you got started with the band.
Oh boy, I play mainly the bass guitar and a little bit of keyboards and sing background vocals. Let's see, what's the short version? Short version is Robbie, our drummer, and myself both grew up in central Missouri. Robbie moved to Oklahoma and met Mike, Bart, and Jim, who used to be our keyboard player, who were there in kind of the early stages of what became Mercy Me. And Robbie met them, played a few shows, said, "Hey, we need a bass player." He gave me a call. I said, "I have access to a bass." And so I got that bass and started playing. That's the really short version.
Very nice. And the rest is history, right?
That's right. That's right.
So this past year has been completely crazy. A lot of changes for the band. What has quarantine life been like for the band?
We had to shut down our tour in March last year, like everybody else did. And honestly, we rolled straight off the road and straight into the studio. We had already started working on a record. And so we literally just kind of rolled off the bus and rolled straight into our cabin studio that we have, which is fantastic that we have this place because we were able to roll in. And um, I've had a bit of a season where we kind of clocked in and out a 9 to 5 here at the cabin, which oh we we have never in our adult lives been home this much. Our entire adult lives has been traveling, being on the road, and so that has certainly been a little different. But we've had plenty of time to work on this record that's coming out, and we've had some really, really good family time as well.
Awesome. So we'll get more into those details here in a little bit. Um, so my next question is, have you guys done any shows since the quarantine?
We actually about a month ago, I think it was a month and a half, we did some shows that got dubbed Showtel, which was a group approached us about doing some shows at hotels, and the idea was to set up in the courtyard of a hotel that could facilitate it, that had rooms with balconies all on one side. And so we set up a stage out in this courtyard facing the balconies, and people were able to get in a room, sit on their balcony, and look at the stage, watch a show. We had a few tables spread out on the lawn in front of us as well. But that was just, I think, a week short of exactly a year since our last show when we did that. And so
Wow,
it was,
that sounds like fun.
it was great to be back in front of people. We were, does what we do. We were itching to get back in front of people. And so
Yeah. Do you guys have any plans for upcoming shows?
we do. We have, let's see, hopefully starting in May, we're going to be doing some baseball stadiums, minor league parks around where we can. And that should be fun. I mean, music and
Nice.
baseball. What else do you need?
There you go. Very nice. Goodness, from music to a movie, you guys have made a huge impact. You guys have done a lot. What's it like seeing so many people impacted by Mercy Me?
We're in a fortunate position that we have some songs that are will outlive us as a band. Songs that people have taken ownership of themselves, which is really cool. I mean, we have songs like Imagine that every once in a while somebody will ask one of us, what do you do? And I say, well, I'm in a band called Mercy Me. And they go, okay. I said, well, we have a song called I Can Only Imagine. They go, oh, I know that song. And so, I mean, it's great. You have songs that are mean more and are a bigger deal to people. And it seems like songs that have actually impacted people's lives. And that's very fulfilling for us.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And you guys are definitely being used by God.
I certainly hope so.
So, I want to talk real quick about your song Say I Won't. It's been on the radio. People have been noticing it, and I hear that it's been inspired by a very specific story of a guy named Gary Miracle. Can you tell me about that?
That's right. Gary has been a friend of ours for over 20 years. He was one of our first merchandise guys, came on the road and sold our t-shirts and CDs, that kind of stuff, which he was terrible at doing. and so he didn't last. But well, yeah, he didn't last very long. But we have been friends with him ever since. And in 2019, he had talked back and forth with Bart and occasionally the rest of us about some of the things we were touching on our last two records, Welcome to the New and Lifer, talking about grace and identity. And so he was, asking questions like, "Hey, what are you guys reading? What are you talking about? This some of this." If you want to call it theology that you guys are talking about is a little different to me. I never thought about this before. And so through that kind of conversation kind of led into what became the beginnings of the song Say I Won't. Well, in the spring of 2020, of course, everything shut down. So we come back and start working on the record. Well, in that same amount of time, Gary gets really sick and goes into the hospital. And so from a distance, we're kind of having to watch what he and his wife, Kelly, are going through. Of course, we were able to, send messages back and forth as we could. But this song that started talking about grace and identity took on a real life for us, because this guy that we'd been talking with about these very things for the last year was finally living that out for us to see right in front of us. I mean, he'll be the first one to tell you he's got really, really rough days, where he does not enjoy what's happening around him, but that has never changed who he is in Christ. And he knows that. And he's the first one to remind us of that. And so this song that started talking about grace and identity also turned into, I think it's fair to say it's a bit of a dare. You could look at it that way, I see what's in front of me. I don't like the situation I'm in, but, say I won't, stand up, watch me do this. And Gary's been the epitome of that. He's got a great sense of humor. He's always sending us messages about, hey, look what I did today. You guys can't do that, can you? That kind of thing, giving us a hard time, which is great. But we wrote the song, we finished it, we absolutely loved it. And then we decided to ask Gary if we could tell his story through a music video. And so if you've seen the video, you've obviously seen Gary in that video and a bit of his story. And yeah, it's been great. Again, there's these songs that we're able to be that really are, again, bigger than us. And we're thankful that Gary's allowed us to tell his story.
That is such a cool thing. I love that. So, speaking of music, I want to talk about your upcoming new album. You guys announced it recently. Can you tell me what it's called and tell me more about that?
Yeah, it's called Inhale, Exhale, which was, I think, the fourth option. It changed 3 or 4 times throughout the making of the record. We had so long to work on the record that we changed things a few times, which it worked out okay. But, a little too much time for us isn't always a good thing. We need a little bit of pressure to get things done. But it is actually coming out. We did finish it. We are really, really proud of this record. We got to take our time with 40 or 50 songs and tracks that we were working on and narrowed it down to this 16 that you get on the record, which was a fun process in and of itself. But there are some things sonically that I think you've never heard from us before, and that's exciting. Thematically, we've been asked a few times if the pandemic directly affected what we were writing about, and I don't think that's the case. We didn't write directly about that, but it did affect. It affected how we narrowed down what we were talking about. Because sometimes you get a group of songs together and they can range in themes from one thing to the other. This time we had allowed us to really kind of narrow things and be very specific about what we wanted to talk about as a whole on the record, not just kind of pool a bunch of songs together. And that was fun. I mean, we kind of joked around and said that with either inspire you or make you dance, I think is the way we put it. And hopefully we accomplished that.
Well, I'm so excited to listen to it. That's going to be great.
Yes. Yeah, we're excited for everybody to get it out. It's been a really long time since we put out a record, and we're excited about it.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite song on the record?
Ooh, that's tough. I think probably Say I Won't is probably still top for me on the record.
Awesome.
But
Yeah.
I say that we've had, just a couple opportunities to play it in front of people as well. So as we get into the record, my opinion might change. We'll see.
Yeah. Very cool. Um, so you mentioned this cabin earlier on in the interview, and I hear it has a name, and tell me more about it.
You can call it whatever you want. Some of us call it the studio. Some of us call it the cabin. Some of us call it the Imaginarium, which I made that up. Um, some of us call it Seven Creeks. Some of us call it the Dangerous Hill, because it is up on top of a hill, and it used to just be all gravel getting able to get up here. But yeah, I'm actually that's where I am right now, and it is real wood. So that we kind of half live, half work here, along with a bunch of squirrels and other things that are in the walls that you can hear from time to time. But none of those sounds made it on the record, so it's okay.
All right, that's good. So you guys recorded the whole album there?
We did, and that's actually the first time we've ever recorded an entire record in, from top to the bottom in one location. We did, all the instrumentation, all the vocals, everything we were doing happened here, which was it's fantastic to have your own place like that.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
really cool for you guys.
Yep.
All right, so what do you hope to see for the future of MercyMe?
Man, I like to think that we plan ahead well, but we don't do that well sometimes. But we're, like I said, we're really excited to finally have a record coming out. I think it has been about 4 years since our last record, which we had the movie come out and in the middle of all that, so that kind of felt like putting out another record. But this is the first group of new songs we've put out in a long time, and we're really, really excited about that. It's coinciding with the possibility of getting back into playing live shows in front of people again as well, and so that's exciting. Yeah, there's a lot of things to be hopeful about and look forward to, and
Very cool.
that should be obvious for us in the body of Christ.
Awesome. Well, this has been a good interview. I've really appreciated talking with you. Can you tell everyone how they can get connected with MercyMe and how they can get the album?
Yeah, you can get the album anywhere that music is sold, downloaded, streamed, whatever your choice is. You can go to our website, mercyme.org, O-R-G, and find out all the information, whether it's useless or not, that you want to know about us. We're all on Instagram and that kind of stuff as well. You can find us there. We're not very good at that, but oh well.
Gotcha. And I got to ask you one more funny question.
Yes.
Are you an Avengers fan?
Well, fan, or am I actually in the movie?
Do you get that a lot?
I do every once in a while, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You look like Bucky Barnes from Avengers.
I am Bucky Barnes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I can tell everybody I interviewed Bucky Barnes.
That's right. I'm telling you, he's a nice guy.
All right. Well, it was very good talking with you. Thank you for telling us more about MercyMe and more about the upcoming album.
Thank you.